Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Father, yeah.
Father, forgive me for all the things I did. Infatuated with this game, trying to win. See my sin and then in Mr. Free. Lord, please hear my plea, I'm in misery. Eyes living from teary eyes. I wonder why I'm suffering. Look to the skies. Wanna see the angels hovering. What's your page and number so I can leave my number in? I'm knocking on the door, Lord, let me in. Please hear my woes, cause at stake is my soul. Can't sit and wait, let the drama unfold. Take hold of your wings, can't take it no longer. Dealing with the situation, I'm supposed to be stronger, but it seems I'm getting cornered.
Go to work, go to work, go to work. Welcome back. Yes, indeed. The Go to Work Radio Show. Wonderful. Hello there. And again, we have a wonderful segment with the one and only Reverend Shaw. We're going to get right into it. How you doing today?
Go to work, go to work, go to work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Every time I go to work, I feel good.
Amen. Absolutely. That's right. Absolutely. That's where it's at. So today we want to talk about the task force, and you want to give some background about the task force again?
Yeah, I want to just say that this task force that we've created CCHR's International Task Force Against Racism and Modern Day Eugenics. And what that means is this task force is designed to address racism, but the causes behind racism. Some of us say it's police. Some of it is white people don't like us. But there's a medical model that was set into place years ago that basically perpetuates what we see now in our educational system, the decline of religion, police abuse. All of this is coming from the medical model of mental health. And they're at this very moment trying to push mental health down our throats. And it's a very clever campaign. They talk about removing the stigma of mental health in the black community. There's never been a stigma on mental health in the black community. We've always known when somebody was a little different or struggling mentally. And many times when Uncle John got old, he'd be room with the oldest kid. Everybody in the family knew that Uncle John was no longer the same Uncle John that they knew. Everybody in the community knew in case Uncle John got out because the kids were being irresponsible, and everybody in the community had to know where to bring Uncle John back. So there was no stigma. What it is a campaign to be able to open the door for our children, our elderly, and even ourselves to be drugged with mind-altering drugs that can cause suicide and homicidal tendencies.
Deep. And another thing that we did talk about on the last show, even with that in mind, what you just shared, there used to be police officers that would bring back home, uncle or aunt so-and-so that, they knew were having issues. But that's also because some police officers lived in the neighborhood too.
Absolutely. And the thing is this whole thing on mental health is not based on any science. Is not based on any real definitive research. It is based on the campaigns to make the different groups money. That's what it's all about. If these drugs can cause people to kill themselves, and we see it happening with our actors and singers and all of these different people, if these drugs can cause that, then why would you even allow them on the market? It is because the FDA, who is supposed to protect us, many of them work for the very pharmaceutical companies they have to make judgments on. Mm-hmm. And everybody know you don't bite the hand that feeds you. So therefore, drugs are on the market that can take people's lives, that have sudden death, that can cause permanent physical nerve damage and injury. and these drugs are being allowed to be on the streets, and the people are suffering behind it. And it's so, this is the crazy thing. I give you a drug because you're feeling depressed. The drug causes you to go out and shoot 15 people, and then I get to come back and say, see, mental health is real. That we need mental health after I gave you the drug that caused you to do that. See,
exactly.
And I just want to submit that if the effects of these drugs, if there was a group of gang members giving these drugs to the community, causing suicide and homicide, I would bet you that the government would move totally different. But because it's under the name of psychiatry, they get away with it.
Yeah, that's a cold piece. And then, we talked about, well, due to the pandemic and so forth, that the museum is not open. But now there is a way that people can see, like, the area where it had the Hollywood stars that have been subjected to the psychiatric drugs. Is it a way, is it a website where they can find that information, or they can see more of that information? Because I know it's a lot of people that, they are into reality TV. They do see the information on the news and so forth, but they may not even know about the backstory of some of these actors. And
well, let me give you a backstory of one. There was a guy named Bud Powell. He was a musician, and he's a black guy. And evidently he had some difficulties and stuff. And the story, I think you can get it on CCHR's INTs.org website. But you can research it. But this was the thing. Bud Powell had some kind of episode or whatever, and he went to the mental hospital, or they took him there. And he put on this thing that he was a musician and who had written over 1,000 songs. And because he was black, they wrote on his thing that he was delusional.
What?
And he had actually wrote 1,000 songs. He had actually been a musician, was one of the top musicians. But the fact that he was black, and this is where black people got to understand there's a racist nature. Because he said he had written 1,000 songs, he was black, it was inconceivable that that could be the truth. And therefore, he had to be delusional.
Wow.
These people said that the civil rights movement was causing protest psychosis, schizophrenia, and delusions of grandeur in the minds of black people who actually was fighting for their freedom and who believed that they could be free. This is in the 60s.
Right.
There's a whole racist model from Benjamin Rush to the modern day killology training that police officers have been getting from Dr. David Grossman, who was a professor of psychology from West Point. You still see mental health with their ugly hand telling people that it's okay to kill without conscience. Don't hesitate to kill. Who's training? I mean, is it the officer's problem? Now, most of us would know, I don't give a damn who tells me I would not go kill somebody because somebody said it was okay. Right. But if you send me to a training that tells me the way I'm supposed to think and the way I'm supposed to act, and that training is telling me to shoot people without hesitation, to kill without guilt, even going so far as to say, when you kill somebody, you have better sex at night.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that's research. Yeah, that is in research. That's in education, and I'm telling you, they have questions like that. Absolutely, of state tests. Absolutely, sure do. Because definitely.
And so these people are teaching that to law enforcement officers, and law enforcement officers kill somebody without hesitation, without guilt, and then we blame it on the officer because the officer, he's still responsible for his actions no matter who teaches him what. If my parents teach me to be a thief, then when I get caught, they put me in jail for stealing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter where the training came from. It's just, so the person still has to have his own concept of what is right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that you have government agencies who are not even capable, who are saying, when this man says you have better sex when you kill,
mm-hmm.
don't you have the mindset to say, this is an idiot. Get him out of here. Don't let him train our people.
Exactly. So we go back to critical thinking skills. We had a show that we talked about critical thinking skills. And transferable skills that we have so many people that's not looking at. Well, when you have a foundation and you have your whoever your sense of denomination is, or have that in order, there is a withal. Because it's by the age of 8, I think, since we want to talk about the government, I believe it's by the age of 8 that human beings are held responsible for their own thinking and their own decisions. So I think we definitely still need to impact the world more so with critical thinking skills, getting people to not per se it's like passing judgment, but the first thing, teach them how to analyze information, how to research, how to ponder, and what does ponder even mean. Some people don't even realize that because all they hear is think, 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 think. They don't even think about any synonyms for the word think.
Well, the biggest problem that we have in America and the biggest threat to liberty, freedom, and everything else is the fact that our educational system is one of the worst in the world. We are not only as a country at the bottom of the barrel, but then in California, we're at the bottom of the barrel in the United States. So, education is not going on like it should be.
That's right.
It's intentionally designed to make people, through the educational system, through the mental health system, all of these systemic agencies in place together to dumb down America. And as you dumb down Black America, you dumb down Hispanic America, you start dumbing down white America. And you can't liberate one while enslaving the other. Somebody has to stand over the slave, which means they can't go nowhere either. So we have to be able to start looking at this and thank God our children are hitting the streets, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, everybody are hitting the streets and saying it's time out on this.
Right.
We need unification. The task force was created so we could address these issues on their origin and what is the hidden hand behind all of this racism. People are not born racist.
Right. Exactly.
That is something that gets put into them as they grow older.
Learned behavior.
That's right. Because if you took a bunch of 4-year-olds of all races and let them play for 1 hour, and you walk up and say, "Who is this kid?" "Oh, that's my friend." They don't say it's my Black friend or my Mexican friend or my white friend. They just say it's my friend.
That's right.
They haven't learned these hate terms yet.
Right.
So, we have to look at that. And so our task force is designed to get community leaders, clergy people, activists, and let's start thinking in groups, to where we can say, hey, this is what we need to do. This is the correct information. That's the reason it's partnered with CCHR, because CCHR has all of the information and the data on this stuff. We don't have to go research it ourselves and look it up. It's been thoroughly researched. That information has been proven accurate. So we just use that database or that source to make sure that the facts that we put out are true. And that's what we need. We
Absolutely.
no longer can operate from emotionalism. We must operate from facts.
That part right there. And with that in mind, again, that's CCHRINT.org, and it will be put in the description as well. And any next steps, Reverend Shaw?
We need more people who are professionals, who understand where I'm coming from, who will go to the CCHR Task Force .org, and they can see my website. They can call me or or let's say fshawjr@yahoo.com. They can email me their opinions. They can email me quotes, and they can even tell me if they want to be on the task force, and we can start working to make sure they vet it. We're not looking for people who have extensive criminal records, especially in the areas of rape, murder, and arson. We're not looking for people who want to use that to run off with their own ideas of harming other races and all that. We're talking about a sane approach to addressing the issues, and not necessarily in the same way we've been doing it, because the way we've been doing it has not gotten us anywhere.
Go to work.
So it's time for us to come up with innovative ideas.
Absolutely.
And new ideas.
That part right there. Well, until next time, go to work.
Heavenly Father.